Hi, this is Trey Pastor, and welcome to Trey Pastor's Saturday Horror Reviews and my Horoscope 101 channel. I'm going to upload this video on that channel as well. Um, like I said last week, I got some great videos from Shot Factory from Falgar517, a great fellow YouTuber, Sammy. And I watched Werewolf of Washington. That was the last movie that I watched. So today, or I guess it would be a couple hours earlier, I watched another movie in the collection. This is the Elvira's movie Macabre, okay? And the movie in this one is called Frankenstein's Castle of Freaks. There you go. You can see that one right there. This one I watched without Elvira's intros and outros. I just wanted to watch the movie itself because I love old horror and anything with Frankenstein, Werewolf, and Dracula, any type of that movie like that. I love those. And to say this movie is this is an Italian horror movie, and probably considered one of the worst Italian horror movies ever. This movie is just surreal. Let me tell you what the plot summary of this movie is. It's basically a Neanderthal man is lynched by local villagers, okay, and Count Frankenstein, that's right, Count Frankenstein, okay? Count Frankenstein. Think about that. Count Frankenstein, okay? Not Dr. Frankenstein, even though he is a doctor in this movie. It's Count Frankenstein, okay? Him and his assistants, they steal the body and basically bring the monster back to life, or the Neanderthal man back to life, okay? Okay, and of course, that you have your angry villagers in the movie. It's not many of them, but they're angry. Okay, and there's a few of them. Okay, and some of them have torches. Okay, and you have a midget, and the midget guy I recognize from, I think, from the Wild Wild West TV show. His name is Michael Dunn, and I forgot the character he played on that show, but I recognize him. Excuse me. He was one of the assistants, and he was a pervy assistant. Okay, all copping feels on dead women's bodies and peeping on the daughter of Count Frankenstein and her friend who came to visit. And basically, the movie is basically about Count Frankenstein, of course, bringing this Neanderthal man. And don't ask me why. There's the cavemen roaming around in this village. Okay, but there are. Okay, there's supposed to be rumors about it, but you see the caveman. Besides the caveman that gets killed and resurrected by Frankenstein, there's another caveman who kind of befriends the midget, okay, and takes him in. So, and it's not like the guy is hiding that much. So I don't know why they kind of try to say that it's a myth, but you see the guy walking around in the daytime, big as day, okay. So I don't know how much of a myth it's supposed to be when the guy is roaming around. Anyway, like I said, the gist of it is that Frankenstein's daughter is getting married, right? And she comes home with her professor, who's a hot. And that's another thing. You have the two of the hottest women ever in this movie. You have the Count Frankenstein's daughter, who brings her fiance just for one night, actually, which kind of doesn't make sense. But anyway, she brings her fiance and her professor, which is another hot blonde, okay, to visit her father, for the weekend, and or for the week, I guess. And you get this, there's nudity in it, okay. Like I said, you got two really incredibly hot women in the movie, so that you get your nudity in there, and you get a lot of terrible acting, okay. And Count Frankenstein is played by what's the guy's name, the actor's name? Because I reckon Rosanna Braza, who's a famous actress, and he was in I think he was in. Was he in the? I think he, besides the Omen movie, I think the third one he was in, and I think he was in. Hold on, let me click on his name because I think he was in. Was he in South Pacific or I'm thinking somebody else? Rosanna. Hold on, let me see what movies, but because I could have sworn he was in. Hold on. Let me see. I know he was in Hold on. I think he was. No, I could have sworn. hold on, let me see something. Yeah, yeah, he was in the Omen movie. I know he was. Yeah, because he was the priest. Yeah, in the Omen movie, the third one. And was he in South Pacific? Or yeah, he was in South Pacific. I knew that. Because I know that because his name. Anyways, why he's in this movie, I don't know. But and this they say this is considered one of the worst Frankenstein movies ever. And the movie is hilarious to watch. I mean, it's you got the pervy midget who basically think about this. The pervy midget is who like one of the assistants for Count Frankenstein, who's constantly trying to, you know, basically see any new, you know, see the hot chicks nude or anything and catch them. And then he gets actually kicked out by one of Frankenstein's assistant, who reminds me of Peter Lorre, whose wife is having an affair with the hunchback. There's a hunchback assistant, believe it or not, okay, that's having an affair with the Peter Lorre sidekick. He's having an affair with his wife, and again, like I said, you have the local official, the police chief, who every once in a while, you know, the villagers come up to his door and basically say, you got to, you know, this grave, you know, because Frankenstein robs 2 graves, I guess, and they said there's, you know, and they immediately say, okay, it's Frankenstein doing it, and you got to do something about it, and the guy is basically saying, nah, ignore it. Yeah, come on, Dr. Count Frankenstein is, you know, he takes in all, you know, he takes in all these guys, you know, leave them alone, basically, and until actually then somebody gets actually murdered, and then he goes to ask Count Frankenstein, you know, to question him, but he still doesn't seem to have any kind of urgency to these grave robbings and murders. But it's just the movie is just, you have so many. I'm trying to describe this. It's the pace of this movie is ridiculously slow. Like I said, the midget who he gets thrown out because he basically spies on Frankenstein. You know, he sneaks into his lab where Frankenstein is experimenting on the Neanderthal that got stoned, and that's another thing. The opening scene is the Neanderthal standing on top of a mountain. Basically, people are throwing things at him, and he's throwing things back at them. You can tell the phony rocks and everything else. They're throwing stuff until finally some villager comes up behind him and hits him in the head with a phony rock and says, I got him. And then everybody else kind of beats him down, and then he dies. And then, you know, they sneak his body out, and it's the funniest scene ever. Okay, this movie is just absolutely, it is horrible, and it's like a slow pace, and the Neanderthal man that Frankenstein, you know, resurrects, he gives him a nice shave and a haircut and stuff, but you know, and experiments on his brain. And Count Frankenstein even has, you know, I guess because he's Italian, he has time to woo the professor, the hot professor of his daughter. You know, he has time to woo her, and she's fascinated with Count Frankenstein. You know, because you know she wants to be a scientist too, and I think an anthropologist, she says, and she you know, she's not freaked out at all about Frankenstein. Basically, you know, well, she says a little something about it, but then she kind of just poo-poos it, and of course, because she's getting romanced by Count Frankenstein, who, and I guess they call him Count Frankenstein because he's more like Dracula in that, you know, he's basically seducing this incredibly hot teacher, you know, and showing her his experiments, you know, a little at a time, and wooing her. And at the same time, after the midget assistant, the pervy midget assistant, gets thrown out by Frankenstein for spying on his experiments, you know, he gets thrown into the woods. Okay, he gets befriended by a caveman for no explicable reason. A caveman sees him wandering in the forest, and basically just grabs him and takes him back to his cave, and you know, gives him meat and befriends him. And of course, now this midget can get his revenge on Count Frankenstein. Okay, he wants revenge on Count Frankenstein for throwing him out. Okay, and I won't tell you how he gets his revenge, which is so wacky and ridiculous. But hey, this is the movie. It is what it is. And this movie, I say, when was this movie made? Because they show lots of scenes of thunder and lightning. Okay, and I think when was this movie made? Hold on, let me back this up a bit. I was looking at what's called biography. This movie was made in 1974. Yep, and it definitely looks like it. Okay, and it's just like I said, you get your nudity, your bad acting, your fake angry villagers, your midget perverts, midgets, and you got your caveman, and then you got your resurrected creature who kind of runs amok when he's finally resurrected. Okay, you even have Count Frankenstein showing, using the hot assistant, to test the monster. Believe it or not, there's a great scene where he basically says, takes her into the lab and tests, it basically shows her how the monster reacts to certain things first by kissing her, and then by throttling her to get a reaction out of the monster, which is insane to watch. But the movie is just absolutely, it's entertaining in a really bad way. Okay, and I couldn't take my eyes off it. Actually, I even went back to rewind it to watch certain scenes again because it was just surreal to watch. Okay, but as a movie, it's absolutely horrible, and I can see why they say it's one of the worst Frankenstein movies ever made. It is because, like I said, you have a lot of Count Frankenstein making speeches a lot of the time in this movie. It's not that what's his name, Rosanna Brazio can't act. He can act, but it's just a lot of the movie he's making speeches and stuff, and of course wooing the incredibly hot the teacher that his daughter brings with him. And there's also a sequence, okay, where I guess this is the excuse to have them nude, which I didn't mind, but where the daughter takes the hot teacher, takes her out into a cave, and they have this, I guess, underground spring. And she said, "Listen, this is great for relaxing," and of course they have to go get nude and to go in and test it, right? And then of course you have your pervy midgets spying on them. Of course, this is an excuse for the pervy midget to spy on the incredibly hot women. Okay, and I thought this movie is just, like I said, it's really bad, but it's really kind of funny in an entertaining kind of way. So I would give Frankenstein's Castle Freaks. It's pretty bad. I would give it a 5. No, not a 5. 5, I think, was being too kind. I'm gonna give it a 4. I'm gonna give it a 4. But it's still entertaining in that bad way. Okay, so I'm gonna give it a 4. Okay, just because, I mean, just even with the incredibly hot women in there, but you got your pervy midgets, your angry villagers, and besides Rosanna Brazio, who's I think the only decent actor in the movie, everybody else is absolutely horrible. But like I said, what can you expect for a movie like this? I guess not the best acting in the world. So, but I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 10. Okay, but like I said, I found it mildly entertaining. So that's my rating for it. Okay. Anyway, let me know what you think. Have you seen Frankenstein Castle Freaks? Feel free to leave comments down below. This is Trey Passer for the Horoscope 101 channel, and also for Trey Passer's Saturday Horror Review, saying so long and take care.